and this begins the long flight home. You'll notice I am less calling it my Egypt tea. It's gonna be like 25 hours or something, maybe more, to get back. I'm leaving Cairo now, and then I will go from Cairo to Rome, and I have a 12-hour layover there. So I'm gonna just get a hotel by the beach, by the airport, and then I will get up early tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll take a walk on the beach tonight and get up early tomorrow morning, get back to the airport, and then I guess we must have a headwind or something because it's like 10 and a half hours back this time, which is, it's gonna be a long trip. And then it's Washington to Lancaster, and then Lancaster to Pittsburgh. So back to work. And we're off. Something interesting about leaving a place with all of that sand. The difference between all of the brown of the sand and the green of Italy, something else. So I got to Rome last night around 8:30, and then by the time I got out of here, it was like 10 past 10, and out of the airport. And I had a concept that I would stay at the place that I was staying at that was near the beach, near the airport overnight, take a little beach walk, and then get ready, get up early in the morning and head back over here. But part of my timing was such that when I came through, pardon me, customs and the rest of it, the two guards on the way out of the place stopped me and asked me if I had anything to declare. And I didn't have anything to declare in my mind, but I had more cigarettes than I'm supposed to. So now I'm going back in to see how that plays out going back in, because like the cigarettes were like $15 a carton in Egypt, in Cairo, and I got 5 cartons because why would I spend, $100 a carton in the United States on them when I could get the deal that way? Now, the man at the store at duty free did say, I don't know what the limits are for you, but the nice lady who, after I got pulled over and they went through my shit again, said, listen, the limit is 2, and you just don't want to do that when you're, in Europe, because the limit is 2, and it can cost you $1,000 per, I guess, box that you're over, or carton that you're over. So we're going to see what this looks like getting out of here. And I may be throwing a bunch of cigarettes away. We'll have to see. Probably should throw the cigarettes away anyway, but getting there. Life would not be normal for me if something didn't get completely screwed up. I'll try to be quick. Go to the airport. They say no gate information until 60 minutes before the flight. I'm on ITA Airways, right? Because, they were decent priced and last minute, and the travel company that put it together, blah, 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 blah. So I get there and I am only told that you got to go to Terminal 1 and Section E will let you know where your gate is, what the actual number is 60 minutes prior to takeoff. So I'm waiting around, I'm waiting around, I'm waiting around. Finally, I'm like, okay, now I get to go back out and find where the gate is. And there are two flights, one United and one ITA Airways. And they're both leaving at 10:20 a.m. So they're also both belong to the what is it, the Sky Alliance or whatever. And there's no information for the ITA Airways gate. So one of the women, after I go through border control or passport control, says, just go to E, go to E. So I'm following all the signs to E, following all the signs to E. And she says, they'll be on the board where your gate is. When I get there, it's like halfway across hell and back. When I get there, there's no ticker that says for ITA Airlines where it is for the gate. And the only thing I see is 10:20 leaving for DC, and it says between Gates 31 and Gates 48 or something. So I get my groove on and I follow all the signs and all the directions, and I get on this bus that's bringing me to 31 through 38 because it said it was gate 38 for the 10:20 departure. And when I get there, it's United Airlines, and they're like, oh no, you're on ITA, and they're at gate 19. So then, almost passing out after having run through as much as I could of this airport and getting the wrong place and being up for God knows how many hours, they end up telling me that it's this gate 19 and I've missed my plane and I'm going to have to get rebooked or pay for another flight or whatever it is. Long story boring, we'll skip through all the drama of getting me back to the service desk where they tell me they're the service desk, but they don't actually work for ITA Airlines. And there's no actual ITA service desk in the airport. I do get on to AI though, and they're like, oh no, they're located at that airport. They just don't have any public facing deal. I had to be a bitch. I had to be that one in line. The Chad and me had to come out, and I had to stand there at the service line and for like 2 hours in order for them to finally get me another plane. So the plane now is tomorrow. After I finally was like, escalate this to a supervisor, all of a sudden there's a different change in the room. That, and I started to video when I'm saying, so you're telling me you don't have a supervisor?
You can take your photos forward, sir.
I'm just being told there's no managing
Yes,
supervisor.
you can. If you want, I can give you also my name.
I want a
You
supervisor.
can take a photo when you want, sir.
I want a supervisor. And then all of a sudden, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police, come over. This is like, okay, you cannot make this shit up. So finally, the lady says, oh, well, they're going to be very nice and give you a ticket. So now, tomorrow, I fly out at 10:20, but I fly to Boston. which actually wouldn't have been bad if I had a layover there for a minute to hang out with, buddies and so forth. But I fly to Boston for them to put me on another plane then to send me to DC after, because nobody thought to say, where is this guy actually going to end up? So when I get to DC, I'll still have to get on with whatever, South Sun Airlines, and find out what kind of a havoc I've got to deal with getting the two pedal jumpers back to Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I'm late. I have a client who is graduating nursing school on the 21st. And of course, I said, I will be there. I will be there. I will be there. I said, I'll be there, Denise. And I don't know if I don't even know what day I'm actually gonna land in Pittsburgh now, but I leave tomorrow. It's the 20th. I'm assuming that within like that 24-hour period, somehow I'll be back in Pittsburgh and I will be able to celebrate your graduation from nursing school. That's what I got. But having to book that other place because ITA said, well, they're not going to pay for a hotel for you. There were 150 people that made that plane, and I still have questions about how all that went down. But I got online after waiting 2.5 hours for my bags to come back because they didn't go on the plane. And I got online, and the sunny part in my life today is I booked this little Airbnb. When I say little, I mean little, but cute as shit Airbnb for the night, right? Like a block away from the beach. You can see over here. It's got a lovely little patio area. It's just as cute as can be, down a little alley, and is right off the beach. So what am I gonna do? I am gonna get a drink. I'm gonna get probably a few. And had I known that this was gonna turn into this complete shit show, I would have stopped at duty free to grab more than just the cigarettes I grabbed that I guess I'm over on from last night when they stopped me and said, "Oh no, you can only have 2 packs of them or 2 cartons, and that's the limit." And I went a little overboard with that. But anyway, I'm gonna go down to the little town village area here. I'm gonna find something to eat because I haven't eaten in certainly 20 some odd. I ate yesterday morning. Think no, that's not true because I had a cake thing on the plane over from Cairo. So I mean, I guess now it's been 24 hours or something. Yeah, because it's like 5 o'clock now. So yeah, it's been like 24 hours since I've eaten anything. Gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go get like a 6 pack of beer. I'm gonna sit out here on the back patio. I'm gonna smoke like a chimney. And as the sun goes down, we're gonna take a walk along the beach in Rome. This is adorable. This could not get any cuter if it tried. It is like bingo. So I'm down here and baggage, waiting for my baggage to come through from the ITA Airlines flight I just took into Boston from them having to replace the flight that they screwed me up on yesterday. And on the way in the plane, I said, hey, I have insulin. Can we please store that in a cold area like any other, even third rate airline would do? And they gave me a bunch of shit about it. And then finally, they said they would do it. And then what they gave me back was this wet mess of the broken cold packs. So they just slammed this shit in there and didn't care at all. So it's kind of why they're getting roasted. So what's all over my hands is the chemical mixture that makes the cold packs cold, and it's all over the cold pack bag and so forth, because apparently they just jammed it in someplace in the plane and didn't particularly care that those cold packs would break or that anything inside could break. ITA Airlines just really, really sucks. It's like they're trying to do the worst they can. For a day that kinda got effed up pretty good, it certainly has ended on a high note at the beach by the airport in Rome.